Assalamu alaikum. Let me introduce myself. I am Zarina, Associate Professor at Samarkand State Institute of Foreign Languages. And today I would like to present you a tutorial about translation studies. So the topic of our today first video is about methodology of translation of scientific technical texts. Let me introduce you with an agenda of our today's video tutorial. So we're going to talk about the basis of scientific technical translation, main peculiarities of scientific technical translation, and later on at the end we will discuss about the translation methods of scientific technical papers. So we know that the conception that many believe that scientific technical translation is less challenging than fiction translation. So because the technical translator needn't look for equivalents of various metaphors and other stylistic means, which are inherent in fiction and journalistic style. But let us just look through the process. What is scientific and technical text? How does it, how could it be translated into another languages? So let me give the notion of scientific translation. The scientific translation is a translation of scientific text that a special knowledge will be required. These texts require a deep knowledge of both the source and target language and proper understanding of the subject. So scientific translators are often trained linguistics that specialize in fields such as medicine, biology, chemistry, physics, and many others. So sometimes they are scientists that have developed a high degree of linguistic knowledge, which they apply to the translation of text in their fields of expertise. So the distinguishing feature of technical translation is that it is consists of text of technical subjects, in particular documents of different specializations, all kind of referent literature, dictionaries, product conformity certificates, operating instructions, engineering plans, scientific and technical articles, and many other documentations. So the basis of scientific technical translation could be seen in these four main objectives. So the first is it should be formal and have a logical style. So it should be as close to the original source and doesn't involve any inaccuracies. Say saturate with very highly specialized terms. So that means that all these bases could be considered as the main features of scientific technical texts. So we can say that scientific technical translation is a special kind of translation, the quality of which depends primarily on the personality of a translator. So let us discuss about the translation process. It takes place strictly within the logical thinking. So those who are capable of thinking logically are likely to make the proper translation. So in scientific technical translation, we could consider two analysis. So the first is about need to analyze the context, and the next peculiarity that we should follow too is following stylistic peculiarities. The first is about how we could analyze the context. It is different semantic connections and relationship between the unknown term and other words. And second, you should be clear about the clarity, lack of expressive, emotional, and imaginative patterns within the text. So let us discuss about the general peculiarities. Later on, we will try to explain you about the grammatical, stylistical, and many other peculiarities within the scientific technical text. So Here you could see that the main peculiarity, it is an excessive amount of specialized terms. So we need dictionaries and glossaries in order to identify some special words. So within introductory words, frequent use of abbreviations, lexical neologisms, realias, prepositions and complex conjunctions, and identical phraseological items. Let us look through all of these peculiarities step by step. So the first is about stylistic peculiarities. So it's basically determined the stylistic defects that deny the uniqueness of the text could be concluded with the following point. So it is logical stress shift in the sentence amorphousness, and parasitic relationship between words. So based on this one, scientific technical translation could be just looked through for stylistic peculiarities. The next is grammatical peculiarities. So we all know that in all types of the text, we could come across with grammatical issues. Regarding the scientific technical text, we could come across with participle and verbal adverb phrases, simple, expanded, and complex sentences, passive voice, infinitive, participle, and gerund phrases. So sometimes it's really hard to translate from one language into another from grammatical point of view. So they were the main peculiarities. Let us continue with the translation methods of scientific technical papers. So the translation process features a number of special methods aimed at creating adequate translation. Today, I would like to go through the method, just accounting some method without any description, as we are going to only give you a brief explanation about the topic. So in scientific technical translation, we could distinguish two types of methodologies that you could implement during your translation process. The first is direct method, and second, it is indirect. So we have two types, direct translation and indirect. So let us look through all these methodologies. So in direct translation, in the methodology, we always use in scientific technical text the borrowing, calquing, and literal translation. So you could see all the examples on our slide. So let us continue with the indirect translation method. We have a variety of indirect translation methods, and the first and proper one that you could implement during your scientific technical translation, that is transposition. We could use also modulation, concretization, equivalent translation, compensation, and adaptation. So also with the scientific technical translation, you could come across with other problems. It seems that another problem arises concerning the editorial task. So they have to select a good translator who claims to have much of the knowledge demanded in terms of the original language. And the second, it is to find a way of assessing this knowledge. So these are rendered to extra linguistic knowledge of a translator. So as a conclusion, we could say that specific requirements for the scientific and technical translation are the ability to suggest the following. So accurate terminology equivalence translation, which is a necessity for adequate translation. Serious issues in the translation of scientific and technical text is the problem of non-equivalent terms, and the origin of non-equivalent vocabulary is differences in the reality of the scientific environment, In this case, most of the non-equivalent terms can be translated by calquing using the lexical and grammatical transformations. So overall, to sum up, we could say that scientific technical translation for the first time could be seen really easy to translate, but as you see, we have a lot of drawbacks. So good luck in your translation practice. See you next time. Thank you for your attention.